I mean, it's close to her heart. Even if Springfield caught on fire, we're in Missouri.
Well,
so
the 𝕸𝕠𝕠𝕟𝕟𝕼 tornado.
yeah,
I do remember
exactly
that.
right.
That's for sure. This is cancelthisshow.com. Once again, cancelthisshow.com. Scott Gurkin, Eric Johnson, Tab of the Hassle. I'm Vic Faust. You know what we do here? Lots of news headlines, politics, cancel culture, society, you name it. Everything we do is trying to help you out too, give you the information that maybe you don't know or help you out in your everyday life. Part of that includes the real estate market, and we've teamed with, I don't know if there's anybody better. She may say there's somebody better maybe in America, but not in the St. Louis area. It's Kathy Helbig Strick. Real estate partners expect to be moved. Kathy, good morning. Welcome in today.
Yeah.
I love the fact that we're sticking to one topic today.
We're sticking to one topic. Yes.
And
well, we're going to try anyway.
there may be something in there. Last week, you told us next week
was new construction.
New construction, because it's a massive topic now.
It is.
With everything going on.
I love it. I love
Jump
it.
right in.
It is. Yeah, the builders are back out in full force again. They kind of had a little slowdown last fall, but they did some catch up. Their pipelines are clearing up a little bit, and they're in full force of new construction, at least in our area. So, what I run into a lot is that people don't necessarily understand or even think that there's a role for a real estate agent in the new construction process. So
educate.
I'm going to tell you why you were wrong. If that's the case. So what happens is you typically go into a display home, a subdivision, a development that has multiple houses built by the builder that you can go through and see their floor plans. There's usually someone sitting in one of those display homes that you would assume is maybe a realtor or works for the builder. It can be a hostess, or it can be, someone that's employed by the builder. Most of the time, sometimes they have their license, sometimes they don't. They don't have to when you work for a builder. But the key word there is they work for the builder, right?
Yeah.
So you're going in and you're talking with, just like the car salesman at the
buying
dealer.
A Bentley.
Correct. So you're talking to them. You really don't have anybody that's advising you. They're going to advise you as to the standard procedures to go through, but they're not necessarily working on your behalf.
Okay.
So, but the reason why a lot of people don't call an agent is they think they want to keep their costs down.
Right.
And so this person's knowledgeable about the product. They're nice. They've spent a lot of time with me. They've given me some advice on picking some options and things like that. So why would I call in an agent? It's probably going to cost me more money.
Yeah, right.
Right? Is that what most people think?
Yeah, middleman. Get rid of the middleman.
Exactly.
And they are so wrong.
They are so wrong in most cases. I'm not going to say there's not a one-off, there's some one-off builders out there that have different setups. But generally speaking, when you're talking about the big builders in town that have the developments, what happens is they budget the years prior. They look at how many times did we have a client come in and use a real estate agent. So that is a cost basis factor that goes into all of their budgeting, all of their planning as a percentage wise of what their past has shown. Because a lot of people do use realtors. So just like they're figuring out how much do our sewers cost us?
Yeah.
How much is excavating? They're going to say, there's a cost to clients that want representation. So that's factored in whether you walk in with an agent or not in most cases.
Okay.
Is this the same all around the country, the information you're giving us?
I can't say there's areas somewhere that might be different, but for the most part, that's what I understand. It is definitely in our geographic area. So what I'm saying is you're not going in and saying, hey, because I don't have a realtor, can you take $12,000 off the price for me?
Okay. Yes.
That
Why
doesn't
not?
happen.
Well, sure it is.
No.
I know that's my personality. I'll tell you that.
Exactly.
I can at least ask the question.
You can ask, but it's in most cases, like I said, there's some one-off builders, custom things like that, where it's literally just a cost basis plus a percentage.
Yeah.
That might be different.
Right.
But when you're talking the developments, it's built in because they also have to look at, they're not going to give you a deal and then sell your neighbor the exact same house with the exact same elevation, and you got it for $12,000 cheaper because you went in without an agent. So there's a lot of reasons why that doesn't necessarily work like that.
Okay.
So whether there's an agent or not, it's the same going to the builder. That's just a little bit more in their pocket. It also goes towards sometimes there's an agent representing the neighborhood. So even though you're not using that agent as your agent, that agent is a marketing agent like Coldwell Banker, Berkshire Hathaway, some of the big the big companies have contracts for new construction with these developments to put them in the MLS, to market for signs, things like that. So there's a cost that goes to them regardless if you use an agent or not.
Let's step back. This is such a great idea because inventory is real low. Some of these places that they're building, I've been very interested in. Here, what is the strategy? So you go, I like the area. I know there's some amenities I want added to a home that I want to buy over there. Do I call you first and I say, here's the, I don't even go on a Saturday afternoon and go to look at the demo house. I come to you first.
Absolutely. And here's the reason why. And most people don't because they don't understand this.
Because they're excited to go see it.
They're excited to go see it. And a lot of times you go look at houses when you're really early in the process. You're not quite ready to pull the trigger, but you're going to go kick tires, right? So the problem with this is that over time, builders, especially when they're booming, when they're not booming, then they love realtors. When they are booming, then there's parameters that they put in place that basically says, and some of them are more strict than others. If your agent didn't introduce you to our development, then we're not going to participate in a payout with them.
Okay.
So it kind of precludes you from having representation. You can hire an agent on your own.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't even like to work with us in that situation. Like they won't let you into the design rooms to help them pick out their features and things like that. So
really,
it's getting kind of crazy with the parameters they're putting on. But so what they do is certain builders, you have to either call ahead of time and schedule your appointment, or you have to show up with your buyer. If the buyer walks in before you, months ahead before you, and they sign in and say, oh, I don't have a realtor, because they haven't really gotten to that stage yet in their mind.
Right.
Then potentially when you are more serious and you're ready to build, that builder can either not allow the agent in or not, at least at minimum, not participate with paying the agent.
It's so important when you're buying a new home from a builder, in my opinion, to use an agent, because guess what? Almost like an attorney.
Yes.
You were there to represent the buyer. And as much as I've known a lot of home builders, and most of them are wonderful, great companies, but there are some that aren't.
Right.
And it's not even that they're not trying to honor the buyer, but there are things that you know about that the buyer doesn't.
Correct.
If I went in right now and bought a new home, a new construction, I wouldn't have the faintest clue what my rights are.
Exactly.
What I can see, what I can't see, what I can do, what I can't do. They might call me and say, well, that bathtub's not available now because of shortages, but
100%.
yet you paid for it. And you have to have someone like you to represent
the
buyer.
At least we know what's norm and what's not norm. You're doing this one time. We're doing it over and over and over again with people. So we can, and there has been times when I've sided with the builder, like the buyer gets all up in arms and I'll be like, you know what? This really is kind of how it works.
At least you're honest.
And at least you know, at least you have the knowledge.
Exactly.
I wouldn't have the faintest clue. And because I wouldn't have the faintest clue as the buyer, I would probably lose out on things maybe I could have done or changes I could have made that I wouldn't know about.
For sure. There's things that I look at when I'm helping you build that I'm looking at when you call me 5 years from now to sell this house. You're going to be in the best position for resale. Yeah. Not everybody's doing that when you're sitting there at the table. They're just up charging you. Put in the granite, put in the crown molding, trim your doors. And I'm like, wait a minute, you're going to not do a 3-car garage because you want crown molding?
That would be me.
No,
but you know what?
I would be making all the wrong choices.
I know a lot of people that they just know what they want. And they're just like, you know what? What I'm about to say to you makes no sense. And that's me.
Because I believe that. No.
I mean, I'm in the market for a house. What can I say? And there's just certain things. And just talk a little bit about going through the process of, like I was talking last night over dinner. I said, you know what? If I want a house, I want one on a lake. Well, if I can't get the lake, at least I have to have this.
Right.
And if I can't get this, then you just keep walking down the aisle.
Correct.
Is that a good way of looking at it? And not just going and seeing something willy-nilly, go, I guess I'll settle for this.
Yes, but a lot of times your parameters do change because people do have, if you're not building something, it's rare that you're going to find the house that checks every single box for you.
Do you wait? Is it better to wait?
It's better to go build.
It's better to go build.
If you want it to be exactly like you want it to be, then go build it.
Can building a house be cheaper than finding one that's in current inventory?
Depends on. But then you've also got all the extras afterwards of blinds, landscaping, all of those things that you're going to add to
Mhm.
the house that is now outside of your mortgage.
Mhm.
So you need to make sure, you got to think about those
Okay.
things as
Eric,
well.
I have some advice for you. If you're looking for, just give Kathy a call.
Just give me a
Talk
call.
to her right after the show. You give her a call. She's going to
I've
take
got
care
too
of
many
you.
questions for her.
Kathy Helbig.
She won't like it. She'll hate it.
No, she won't. She deals with this.
Buy a
I
latte.
guarantee she might have. There's a chance she might have had somebody who had more questions than you would have.
No.
Yes.
Kathy Helbig, Strick,
Yes.
experienced real estate partners. Expect to be moved. 314-276-SOLD. 314-276-SOLD. A question from our comment line.
Sure.
Kathy, what do you think of new construction? And I know that's a general wide.
Yes.
I mean, there may be some builders that may, and I guess beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but
Mhm.
in general, what do you think and what are you seeing with new construction?
Well, we saw a little bit of a price break after the fall slowdown. We saw obviously the lumber prices came down,
Wow.
and builders were starting to be a little more pliable.
Mhm.
We're probably going to get back to, not quite what we saw 2 years ago, but we're going to get back to them not being very negotiable right now for a little while. Land is precious and
yes.
and it's expensive. So
Mm.
the cost of things have gone up quite a bit. I'm as a realtor, it's a little bit shocking to see what you can build now compared to what I've used to helping people build 5 years ago.
Right.
It's a little bit of a sticker shock, but I don't think we're ever going backwards on our prices there.
I just read about that last night. I
What?
was looking at investments. I keep telling my
Mhm.
son, the only way a person can truly generate wealth is through real estate.
Mhm.
It is a surefire method
Mhm.
of generating wealth. And since I think I read it since 1987, real estate has increased in value by 441%.
Right.
It never decreases, except for in some
There was a couple
areas.
small decreases through like the bubble burst in 2008, but very minimal did it go down, and then it came back again.
Everyone should invest in real estate.
Where is a
Thank you,
plot of
Tabitha.
land? Where are the builders building out right now? Is it Defiance? Where's the areas that you can actually put new houses?
Winsville, Defiance, Troy, like everything heading out that
That
direction.
sounds like St. Charles County.
St. Charles County, you got it. Obviously, Kirkwood, they're still doing teardowns.
Going north up towards the river, is that a place? I don't know what the area is up there, past Newtown and all that stuff.
Yeah, a little bit, but I don't see as much growth there as we see
Okay.
farther west.
Is there any affordable land yet still to build on as far as this? Because every time I've checked land, I'm like, oh my
Mhm.
Lord, I used to buy houses for this price, and it was just a plot of land.
Mhm.
Is there anything affordable out there that you?
I mean, it's all relative to how ever far out you're willing to go, the more affordable the land is.
And that's so true. The house
Mhm.
that my son is selling this week,
Mhm.
out of your territory,
Yes.
unfortunately, it's 22 acres.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know what? Here in this area, 22 acres would be a whole lot of money.
Mhm.
Out in the country, in the middle of nowhere, in southern Missouri,
Mhm.
it's worth very little.
Okay.
So it really depends on where you go.
We also hear about construction not only in the state of Missouri. Where are you hearing there's a lot of new construction? Is it the South? Because you're so many people moving to Florida, so many people moving to Texas, and there's so many vast areas.
Obviously, Austin was huge. Texas,
New construction.
Houston, yeah, a lot in Houston. Let's see, any of the warm territories. Florida is crazy. The construction
I
going on
heard.
in Florida is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Where would you be building in Florida? Just everywhere?
Everywhere. Yep.
Well, they
It's a
can
mass exodus
yeah.
to Florida during COVID.
in Texas,
So-
correct? Is
And
Texas?
Texas, yeah.
Okay, what is some other spots other than Texas? And because you help people all over, right?
Mhm.
What's some other places? If it's not Florida, if it's not Texas, where would you go?
I like Carolinas.
Carolina, okay.
Virginia, like
Yeah.
kind of.
What about Alabama, like Southern Alabama by Mobile? You still
Yeah,
have the ocean
yeah.
down
Mhm.
there.
Yep.
That would be good.
Very, very pretty, and also an area that's booming as well.
Yeah, Mississippi.
Yeah, just kind of the people that don't really want to be in Florida, but
right.
get that weather.
I don't want to be around
Destin
all that.
area is crazy.
You can't go
booming.
to Destin, can
It's
you?
so expensive.
That's our sister. That's our sister city, Destin
Yeah.
and Pensacola,
Yeah.
or St. Louis.
Yeah.
What do you mean it's our sister city?
It's where we all go.
Yeah.
It's where we all
Oh,
go.
yeah.
Not
It's an easy
me.
trip.
Not
It's an
me.
easy trip.
It's
I'm
an
going
easy
down to
trip.
the Keys.
Yeah.
Well,
I want
that's
it
a little
warmer. Yes.
Is your son looking at building a house, Tabitha?
Actually, he is looking to purchase real estate. He's selling his. In fact, we were supposed to go today, but he's sick. We're going to clear out. His father passed away,
Mhm.
and he just recently sold his home. And I told him, you need to start investing in real estate, and that is exactly what he's going to do. Everyone should. If you want a surefire way to make money
Mhm.
over a period of time,
Here's a
invest in real
question from the
estate.
text line. Ready?
Sure.
And I agree with this 100%.
All right.
All they're building is apartments in St. Charles. Okay. Do you ever sit down a client and say, look, the home values in this area are going to kind of start to come down because there's so much multifamily going up? Is that ever a discussion that you have
Not
with
yet.
clients?
No.
Could you have that? I mean, would you like?
We could, but we haven't seen it yet.
It's like foreseeing the future kind of a thing.
Yeah. I mean, we're seeing apartment buildings go up everywhere, not just St. Charles County.
Okay.
But we're also still seeing, single residential homes go up too. So watching the builders, that gives you an indicator. When they pull back or they're surging forward, that's
Great
a very
point.
good indicator of what's happening.
Okay.
But guys, I've got a friend. What are
they're
they building?
speculating.
What are they building most of? And he's a builder. He's in Nevada and Reno and places west. He's like, we're building way more multi-complex buildings, apartment buildings than we are homes. I don't know. I mean, I guess it just depends on
Because
the
you
area.
can't
that
afford-
area
maybe-
too.
Is that a question of affordability? I mean, don't you think it's
For
like
sure.
it's like you can't afford a house, so you might as well just start
For
building
sure.
all these
And maybe
apartments.
as more apartment buildings come up, then some of the rent prices will come back down because then we have more to choose
Yeah.
from as
And
well.
it's going to change. If
the
we
rent
can,
prices are going up
Rent
crazier than
prices-
the home sales.
They sure
prices.
are.
ridiculous. But it's at some point here in the state of Missouri, we're hoping to eliminate a lot of the personal property tax.
Yes.
And I think the personal property tax causes more people to move into apartments, maybe versus buying a home.
Amen.
But when that tax,
That's right.
when that tax law changes,
Yes.
people are going to flock to buying new homes.
Absolutely.
And that's
So-
that's a big topic in the state of Missouri. I'm not sure about other states, but it could. I legitimately could see how it could happen in the state of Missouri.
Yeah.
I'm hearing that much push from politicians in the state, both on the
Would be
Republican
game
and Democratic
changing for
side.
Missouri.
We'll know tomorrow.
It will be.
We'll know tomorrow. Talk to Nick. See what's
there you
going
go.
through.
I know. I was
Well-
like, what's going on tomorrow?
Yeah.
Well, he won't have the answer.
Sure,
Well, he's in the game now,
Yeah.
he's in the game, but
and he
ultimately
knows
that
how to
comes down
answer the
vote.
question. Yeah, absolutely, no doubt. But it seems like the push for the property taxes is going away. Is at least there. This insane. I say insane, but it's not. The 7.5 in rate of getting a loan is kind of
coming
high.
coming down.
Hopefully-
Yesterday we saw low sixes.
Oh,
One of my loan partners locked a VA loan at 5.125 yesterday.
Okay. And
So,
then being able to negotiate these house prices down a little bit to get people
Yes.
excited about
Yeah.
this.
And we'll see a typical surge of spring and summer
Yes.
because that's high time. We did see properties tick up a little bit. We were almost at 380 yesterday on new listings and 111 coming
there you
soon.
go.
So
Don't you hate people
Start to
like
take a
me
little.
who know a little bit, but I don't know enough to make an accurate decision and real?
you
I mean, you
no,
gotta
actually,
see
you're
this
my
all the
favorite.
time.
People like
No,
you.
I was gonna say, actually, you're my favorite.
that's a good point, Tyler.
Because once I win you over, I have you for life.
Exactly. That's exactly
true.
right.
It's
Sure.
true.
And that's why we need people like you,
Yeah.
because so many of us don't know. I mean, I know a little
Right.
bit from my family's
Right.
real estate business, but even I wouldn't want to sell a house. As a matter of fact, I woke up this morning thinking about you coming in today, and I was thinking how valuable it is to have an agent. Too
Yeah.
many people think, and my family has learned this firsthand.
Yeah.
It's so easy to think, well, I don't need an agent. I'm going to save the commission.
Yes.
I'm going to sell the house myself. And trust me, we've gone that route. And we tried to sell a duplex, had an offer, didn't work out. And then guess what? The day we listed it with a real estate agent, 6 offers in one day, meeting our price and above what we were looking for.
Exactly.
You have to have an agent.
We typically do pay for ourselves and then
Yes,
some. a
that's
lot of
right.
times.
I'm going to say this though. You gotta do your due diligence and find you're
You do.
you're fantastic. But I will tell you this.
100% agree.
I'll tell you this. I have a few friends that are realtors,
Mhm.
and they only care about making money off of me. And I'm like offended, Vic. I'm like,
yeah.
wait a minute.
Do they tell you this?
No, but when I went back and did the math, I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You charge me for this. You charge me for this. What the hell? You're out of the family. So it is very
It is true.
important because you're going to be around with these people
Yep.
for the rest of their lives, maybe.
I get invested with my people. And, there was a new construction story. I'll make it really quick. My billboard had been outside of these people's house for 20 years.
Mhm.
Okay. So they see me every single
By the
day.
way, those billboards work. They do.
Yes,
I
they
can't
do.
tell you. Oh yeah, I've seen her billboard all over the
Yes,
place.
exactly.
Yeah.
So these,
I can't
these
wait till
people
we
have
can
been
afford
looking
billboards.
at me forever. And they always knew they were going to use me to sell their house when the time came. So
Yeah.
what do? They're thinking about, are we going to remodel? Or are we going to move? Let's jump in the car, honey. It's a pretty day.
Yeah.
Let's go drive around and look at new construction.
Yes.
So they do. So they wander onto a subdivision.
Uh-huh.
without me, obviously, because they hadn't reconciled in their mind if they're doing anything yet.
Yep.
So then, of course, they sign in, they get a little closer to making this decision. They call me and they have me come over to talk about selling their house. And then they also want me to help them represent them on the build. Well, then the builder steps in and says, you didn't register when you came in. She didn't introduce you to the property. And we have a real estate agent that we would like to refer you to. And that, just so you know, there's a special deal, and this happens a lot out there. There's a partnership relationship with an agent that they're referring you to that's going to give you a discount if you list their house with them for a reason. Why is that builder sending you to that person? For a reason. That person's giving you a discount at listing price to sell your house because they want to make sure you use them.
Yeah.
Because again, where are the loyalties with that?
Yeah.
And so they didn't like that. It made them mad. And they called me, they're like, what do we do? And I'm like, let me call him. I've had a great relationship with this builder over the years. I call him and they were literally like, they were just didn't want to deal with it. And so I was literally like, I can't believe that you are causing these people to not have who they want. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it for freaking free. Because they're not going to block me from coming in and giving you representation. I was so
awesome.
mad. They ended up paying me, but I went into that knowing I'm doing this because you need an advocate.
There you go.
And that's Kathy Helbig.
There you go.
That's the way it's going to be.
I'm in.
Kathy
I'm in.
Helbig. Kathy Helbig, strict experience, real estate partners expect to be moved. 314-276-SOLD, 314-276-SOLD. If you have any questions, real estate, come on. You're starting to get to know Kathy, whether it's here, whether it's out of state, give her and her team a call. You can trust her. We know her. She's a part of the show as well. 314-276-SOLD. Do you have any ideas about a topic for next week yet? Or because I know I'm putting you on the spot.
I'll shoot you one. I'm actually heading out to Miami, so maybe it'll be houseboats. Who knows?
Fun.
We're going to go to the boat show down there.
Wait a minute. I thought barn dominiums were cool. Now we're talking about houseboats.
We're going to get on a houseboat. Yeah.
You can park a houseboat right on the Missouri River.
My brain is not on next week's topic yet, but it will be.
Hey, well, think about this. Sleepless in Seattle. That was a houseboat, right?
Yeah.
With Tom Hanks.
I love it. I would live on a houseboat in a flash. If we had a place here to put a houseboat, I would live in one.
Yeah.
Missouri River, baby. Go get your houseboat, Eric.
How disgusting would that be?
And your mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes and waves and logs.
When's the boat show in Miami?
This weekend. I think it starts maybe Thursday.
Nice. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I can think of worse places to be.
Mm-hmm.
Kathy, thanks again. Thanks for being so honest and direct. That's some of the chat line response that we're getting. So enjoy your time in Miami. We'll catch up with you next week.
Are you taking a flight out of here?
Yeah, I'm actually running home to finish putting stuff in my suitcase and then heading to the airport.
There you go.
Exciting.
Have a great day.